Okay, so as you can see here, I've split the engine and the gearbox as before. I've bobbed the clutch back in there. I will actually reassemble it onto the flywheel and then just slot all that in there so it doesn't get lost. Excuse me. I've put the crank bolts back in there. You probably saw when I removed them, I do it diametrically. So I start here, go opposite, then next to it, and opposite, and next to it, and opposite. It's just a force of habit from constantly doing it. The next thing I need to remove now is the aluminium part. I won't video that purely because it's a fiddly, time-consuming job, which is just awkward, quite honestly. But it's not particularly interesting to watch. It's not difficult to do. And if you had to do it yourself, you'd work it out very easily. But the bolts are down there. So basically, you've got to do each one with a ring spanner, which makes it quite time consuming. There are 4, you can see in here, which you need to remove the flywheel to do. I actually thought halfway through the flywheel removal I'd made a mistake, but I hadn't. You do have to take the flywheel off first. It was a little bit stuck on there because the end of the crank there where the spigot bush goes in was quite rusty. I'll also mention at this point, a quick apology if you see me scratching and things, it's because we're absolutely inundated with thunderbugs today, and they are driving me insane. They're in my ears, they're in my hair, they are literally everywhere. If you look at the roof of the Capri, it is covered in the blooming things. You probably can't see them there, but there are literally bazillions of them, and they are driving me insane. Okay, so I'll whip that off, and then when I'm ready to put it on the engine crane, I will start the filming again. Thank you. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the stripped engine. There's the aluminium plate that goes on the back of the engine. That's for a manual gearbox. The automatics had a different layout to that. Obviously, you can see it's for a manual gearbox, and you know it is, but it's a different setup. The slave cylinder, okay, I've just run the screws and nuts under there, which tie into the sump oil pan, if you're American. I put the bolts back around the bell housing for the gearbox, the clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate assembly back in there. The clutch I will give a skim to, the flywheel I'll give a skim to, the clutch will definitely need replacing. And there's the engine. So the next time you see this engine, it will be on the engine stand, and I'll be starting dismantling it to have a look inside. I'm going to talk you through getting the heads off. It's definitely going to need a rebuild. You can tell them either way. However, the good news is it doesn't look like it's ever been in pieces before, and if it has, they put it together fairly well, which is a good sign. Hopefully that means that if it does need a rebar or anything like that, it won't need a massive rebar or a massive crank grind. It will inevitably have had work done over the years, but hopefully if it hasn't been done roughly or if it doesn't need a lot doing, that helps significantly. Some parts being unavailable like crankshafts and the like. Oakley dokley. Next time you see me, it'll be on the engine stand and we'll be starting to take it to pieces. I will talk you through how to get those heads off. I'm fairly sure they're stuck. I'll show you a few methods of getting the studs out. Some of them work, some of them work really well. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I have a series of methods I can use if push comes to shove. Okay, thanks a lot and good night.